They say wars begin with words, but lately, the words in South Asia sound less like diplomacy and more like a drumbeat of danger. Within just a few days, three of India's top men, the defense minister, the army chief, and the air chief, have issued threats so fierce they could make even war seem casual. Any misadventure, warned the defense minister, will change both history and geography. The army chief went a step further. No more restraint, he said. Next time, we will make Pakistan think whether it wants to remain on the map. And the air chief will hit them wherever they go. But let's be honest, this isn't strategy. It's swagger. It's not strength, it's insecurity wrapped in noise. Why this sudden burst of bravado? Because in India's politics, chest thumping sells. When the economy stumbles or the headlines turn bleak, nothing rallies the crowd like a promise to put Pakistan in its place. It's emotional theater for the domestic audience. Nationalism served hot, spiced with anger and pride. The BJP government knows exactly how to play this tune. Every speech, every threat, every raised fist is aimed more at voters than at the enemy. But here's the danger. When leaders start believing their own hype, performance turns into policy. And once you've promised to redraw maps, how do you step back without looking weak? Is this about deterrence or about damaged pride? After May's escalation, when Operation Sindoor exposed India's vulnerabilities and both sides were forced to back off under global pressure, Delhi was left nursing its ego. That sting hasn't healed. Now, this new roar of defiance sounds like overcompensation, a declaration meant to erase the memory of restraint. The message is clear. Next time, we won't blink. But the louder the roar, the deeper the doubt it hides. Let's cut through the noise. Can India really afford what it's threatening? Wars aren't fought on Twitter. They're fought with logistics, technology, and willpower. Pakistan may be smaller, but it's battle-hardened, seasoned, and strategically sharper than Delhi gives it credit for. It has strengthened alliances, from Saudi Arabia to Washington, and proven that it isn't the isolated underdog many imagine. India's bombast, by comparison, feels like a desperate attempt to mask its anxieties. When a nation truly holds the upper hand, it doesn't need to shout about it. If, just for a moment, we accept the grim possibility that India actually starts a war, then the fallout would be decisive and catastrophic for both sides. Pakistan has warned that the old Indian assumption of geographical immunity is over. This time, the strike would reach Western industrial hubs and could cripple the economy in days. A conflict between two nuclear-armed neighbors would not stay a limited skirmish. It would redraw the regional balance permanently. Trade would grind to a halt, markets would shatter, and millions would be uprooted. Even conventional counter-value strikes could be devastating. Pakistan's response could reach deep into India's industrial belts and digital backbone. Picture the cost. Years of progress erased, foreign investment evaporated, and an entire generation left living with the scars of fear and loss. So what's the smart move? To prove a point or to protect the future? The answer should be obvious. Maturity lies in restraint, not recklessness. Real power doesn't scream, it strategizes. India needs to silence the war drums and rediscover diplomacy. Start talking, quietly, seriously, and sincerely. Because the only real path to peace runs through dialogue, not dominance. And yes, that means confronting the elephant in the room, Kashmir. Until that wound is healed, every ceasefire will just be a pause before the next explosion. Can India afford permanent hostility with its neighbor? No. Geography doesn't bend to pride. Pakistan isn't disappearing, and India isn't invincible. The only real future is coexistence, built on realism, not rhetoric. Because in the end, words can save or destroy. The real test of leadership isn't who can roar the loudest, but who can step back when the crowd screams for fire. Nationalism is a flame. It can light a nation's spirit, or it can burn its house down. And right now, India is playing with matches in a room full of gasoline. Nations don't fall to their enemies. They collapse under the weight of their own arrogance. And India must know that. What do you think? Will wisdom prevail over war talk, or will arrogance write the next tragedy? Share your thoughts below. Until next time, Allah Hafiz.